What is up? Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason. And today we are back reviewing a new film that is only playing in theaters, and that film is going to be Nope. And I say without further ado, I say we get right into it. I believe you're going to take this one away, Jason.
Nope. Sorry, couldn't resist. Yeah, so I'm not going to say too much about it because it just came out a few days ago, and part of the whole campaign was secrecy. Like they didn't even up until like the day before it came out, I don't think they were even posting any reviews or allowing people to post any reviews. And the trailers, of course, were, especially the first trailer, was very cryptic. That first trailer, I got like, I had a pretty good idea that it was actually back when I saw the poster. And when I saw the first trailer, I was pretty sure it was going to have something to do with aliens. The second trailer made it pretty clear that you're dealing with aliens, but there's still plenty of surprises to be had in this movie. So I'm not going to say too much, except that it is the new Jordan Peele movie. Of course, Jordan Peele becoming a world famous director just on his first movie, Get Out. And then Us was also a big hit, and this is only his third movie, and he's already like one of the most acclaimed and notable filmmakers that are out there, and this is his new movie, of course, and I'm not going to say too much about the story, except that it involves two siblings played by Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer, who own they live in the outskirts of Los Angeles, in the desert surrounding Los Angeles, and they run a horse ranch that provides horses for Hollywood, basically. Horses for commercials or movies, trained horses essentially. And it's their fathers and their grandfathers, their great grandfathers. It's the family business essentially. And basically they become aware, because they live out in the middle of nowhere, they become aware of some kind of alien presence watching them or hovering over them in the form of an unidentified flying object. And that's all I really want to say, except another character who's involved is Stephen Yeun, who most people know from The Walking Dead. He owns another ranch nearby. He is very important to the story, but I'm not going to say how exactly. And also there's Michael Wincott, who it's cool to see again because you know who he is. I know who he is, but he's got one of those incredibly recognizable voices. He usually plays
really
villains.
Gruff.
Yeah. He usually, because of the way he looks and the way he sounds, he usually plays really despicable villains in most movies. And he's not actually in this movie. He's kind of I wouldn't say he's a hero, but he's not like a scumbag like he usually is in movies.
Yeah. He does seem a little shady in parts, though. He's still
right. Yeah, he's not exactly. He's not. I wouldn't like have him babysit my nephew or something like that.
Right, exactly.
But he's not like a villain like he is in most other movies. But anyway, that's all I'm really going to say, because there is a lot of surprises in this movie. Although, like you mentioned before we started recording here, it's not really a twist movie. It's not like, the end and you get to the end and it was all a dream or everybody's dead or, nothing like that. But there are just a lot of nice little surprises tucked away, and it's good to go in, like most movies, honestly, go in knowing as little as possible. All that aside, I'm just going to say that I did like this movie very much. I did enjoy it a lot, especially like the first, 2/3, 3/4, I was on board completely. Toward the end, I was still into it, but with reservations. So I know that's not really giving a lot of detail, but I do look forward to watching it again, because I kind of felt the same way with Us. Like I remember Us, I was on board, and then it seemed to maybe lose me a little bit toward the end, but when I watched it again, it all made sense. I will say this is one thing that I thought was really interesting about this movie is that for the first like 2/3, 3/4, I thought it was like probably Jordan Peele's most like mainstream movie. You know, it's very Spielbergian, it's very straightforward, it's very entertaining, popcorn movie type stuff. But toward the end, it throws some curveballs at you. I'll put it that way. And there's a lot of things about it that are kind of ambiguous and mysterious and just kind of leave you hanging. But I kind of like that kind of thing. And it's obvious that it was intentional, that he throws these little ambiguous notes in there and like, how does this line up with that? And what does this have to do with that? And that's probably going to turn off some people because people aren't used to that with their popcorn movies, really. Those kind of like things that just kind of like hang out there and like don't really satisfy you in a conventional storytelling way. But I like that kind of stuff. And I was, we went to see this together, and I was like, for a solid half hour after the movie was over, I was still kind of like mulling over one specific part and trying to figure out how it played in with the whole, or if it mattered or what it meant, or that kind of stuff. I like that kind of stuff, and I think this is kind of the kind of movie that will that has all those different layers that will kind of reveal themselves, but not necessarily on the first viewing. And I like movies that make you put in the extra work. So I did really like this a lot. I don't know how I would stack it up against Get Out and Us at this point. I would still say Get Out is still his masterpiece, I would say. It's going to be hard for him to ever top that, I think, honestly. Not just in terms of quality, but in terms of just significance, But I do think he's definitely 3 for 3. I like that he keeps changing things up. Like all 3 of these movies, while there are similar threads to them, they are completely different, and they go about what they do in completely different ways. And I like that. I like that he's 3 films in, and he still feels like he's just getting going, honestly. So definitely one of those filmmakers that I look forward to see where he's going next, because based on these 3 movies, I couldn't even guess. So I liked it a lot. What'd you think here?
Yeah. So yeah, we all saw this as a big group. There was 10 of us, 12 of us, something like that. It was a large group of us. So it was a fun evening for sure. We had dinner, and then we went to go see it. It's one of those movies where like you, I don't want to give too much away, and not because it has like some major twist or something of that nature. I just don't want to spoil a lot of, because I went into it like you did, not knowing a whole lot about it, thinking it has something to do with sci-fi or potentially, aliens or something of that nature. I didn't know a whole lot beyond that. And I think that's kind of the best way to go into the film, is to not know a whole lot about it. So I don't want to go into the nitty gritty and details. I did enjoy the film. I thought it was good. I definitely, for me, it definitely is, I kind of put his films in order, it's, for me, it's Get Out, Us, and then this, in terms of, the hierarchy of the order of I like films. And I think the reviews reflect that as well. I think, his best reviewed film is obviously Get Out, then Us, and then this. Not necessarily that means right or wrong, but I think that that's kind of in line with most critics would say as well, just based on the reviews anyways. So like I said, I don't think this was his best of the 3 films, but on its own, it's a really, really good film, and really good standalone film for sure. And it is one of those films that will make you think about, some of the things that are in the film. And there was a little bit of that in Us also. I felt like, there's some elements in Us with like the rabbits and things of this nature, where you were trying to figure out how those rabbits tied in. And so there's some similar elements in this film also, where you're trying to figure out, what the point of this was. And, you have to kind of use your own interpretation in order to figure out why certain elements, or why there were certain scenes that they kept coming back to in the film, and what that had to do with what was going on in the present. So there's a little bit to think about on that. And then obviously, like you said, you might have to use your own interpretation. Maybe it requires repeat viewings to really figure it all out and to make sense of what he was trying to convey and what it all means. But I do know that for many people, that is going to be a turnoff. And I've already talked to or heard from a few people that didn't care for the film, and thought that, you know, some negative things. I don't want to go into the specifics of it because then I have to give too much away to say why. So I do know some people that didn't necessarily care for it, and because of some of the elements that he added into the film, that on, I guess, the first viewing may seem like it's misplaced, I guess, if you will. I mean, he has a specific purpose for it, and I think I know the purpose of it. I'm not 100% sure of it, but I think I know what he was trying to convey. But there's a lot of people that just, for whatever reason, right or wrong, you know, aren't going to gravitate to that or understand that or like that element of it. And, you know, even if you get it, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to love it, because I think I know what he was trying to do. And even I thought it was kind of it was so subtle that it does leave you initially scratching your head and wondering why there were certain scenes or certain elements that were in there. And so for me, that is a little bit of a knock, but not totally. But, you know, I did enjoy it. I did have a few issues just in terms of the reveal conclusion, if you will. So there were some special effects involved that I think were a little seemed a little cheaply, if you will, to me. So that was a little bit of a concern for me. I don't want to go into details on that either, but there was definitely some things that I personally had some issues with. But, you know, like I said, that's just me. That's just a personal preference of mine. So, like I said, it's not a perfect film, but it is a good film, and I did enjoy it, and I did have fun watching it. So, so it's definitely one that, you know, I'll rewatch again. More than likely, we'll probably buy. So it's definitely at that level. But definitely not my favorite of his films thus far. Anyways, he's only made 3, so, you know, cut him some slack. You know, but I do know that there are some people that didn't love this one as much as the first 2, but there are a lot of people that didn't love Us either, because it was, you know, because a lot of people were expecting like that Get Out, you know what I mean, and he's not going to be able to replicate that most likely, you know, and that's like with any director. You know, I mean, Tarantino's never going to do another Pulp Fiction, you know what I mean? It's just, there's just certain films that certain directors do that define them, and everybody's trying to see them live up to that other film that they made, and it's just hard to do. It's just hard to make a film that, you know, because, I mean, for all intents and purposes, for me, you know, Get Out was essentially a masterpiece for me, you know, and so for him to be able to replicate that, it's going to be really, really difficult, especially with the subject matter that he's working with. And, you know, he's trying to do all these films that involve social commentary, which alone can be somewhat polarizing if you really get into the nitty gritty of it and that sort of thing. So, so there's all these like social commentary elements that some people may get. It might go over some people's heads. And so because of that, I think that's going to make some of these films that he does, if he's going to continue down, because I think he wants to do this social commentary type films. But if he's going to throw these little subtle kind of points into his films and not really explicitly explain exactly what those are about, I think that's going to leave some people unsatisfied, I think. So, so I get it. I get that there's going to be some people that maybe not necessarily love this film or didn't love Us, and because of those elements and maybe he throws in there that he makes you think. You, on the other hand, obviously like that kind of stuff, but not everybody thinks that way. Not everybody. Some people will see that and say, you know, why did he do that? You know, why didn't he just tell us what it was? Because some people prefer things to be, I don't want to say spelled out for them, but they prefer things to be tied in a nice little bow. And he didn't necessarily do that in this film. So
they can go see any of 27 Marvel movies that are out this year. So that's fine.
Yeah, and they probably will, and they probably did.
Yeah.
But cool. Anything else you want to add about Nope? Like I said, I don't want to get into too much about it just because we can't really explicitly talk about what we may or may not have had issues with it without giving anything away. So,
nope. Nope. I mean, I do look forward to seeing it again. Like, it's one of those movies that I especially look forward to watching again because I'm just interested to see how it plays the second time. And a lot of the scenes that it's one of those movies. There's so much happening and there's so much in it that I don't even remember a lot of it in great detail. Like I remember there's a really interesting scene that utilizes, this is not a spoiler, but it it utilizes like a slowed down version of Sunglasses at Night, you know, the 80s song.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I don't even remember what was happening there. I just remember it was like, what am I watching? And like, I want to buy a slowed down version of Sunglasses at Night now. And like, like, I don't know. It was just like this crazy, long, drawn out scene that was like, what is happening? And I just want to watch it again and be like, oh yeah, that was happening. You know, so yeah, that's just one example. It's got so many cool scenes in it. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, overall grade and face you would give this one.
I give a 5 out of 5 to that slowed down Sunglasses at Night version, but the movie for now gets a 4 out of 5 from me, like a solid B plus. It is one that I'm giving it room to move up. I'll put it that way. See how tightly it hangs together the second time, and I might increase it, but for now it's a solid 4 out of 5. So, you know.
Yeah, I'm a little lower than you are. I went 3.5 out of 5, but I still really enjoyed it. So for me, it's just a smile with some teeth. And you know, I'll watch it again. Unlike you, typically, I don't usually move the needle a whole heck of a lot on a second rewatch. Occasionally, yeah, I will, but it's not that often. But we'll see. We'll see when I watch it again. Maybe some things will click with me the second time around. But I do know that some of the issues that I had will still be there, because I know specifically what I didn't necessarily love about it. I already know that I'm not going to love those things. Maybe they won't bother me as much, but there were definitely some things that, I don't know, which were a little better in some parts, but that's just me. So, but cool. Well, let us know down in the comments. Have you seen Nope? Did you like it? Did you not like it? As always, if you like the channel, we ask that you like, subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification, and we'll be back again soon with another show for you guys. We thank you for watching and hope you have a great day.